how's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Terrifier 2. This is from 2022, written and directed by series creator Damien Leone, who actually wears a ton of hats on this franchise. He's a producer, he's this movie's editor, and he also did the special effects. More on those in a minute. The movie stars Laruen LaVera, Elliot Fuller, and once again, David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown. And boy, this has really become something lately, huh? Like, there's been several gorehound movies, and there's been several retro throwback slasher movies, and those usually satisfy their audience, but kinda stay in their own little box. Art the Clown has somehow broken out of that, and I've even seen him in a Spirit Halloween ad this season, and now we even have a third movie coming out. It's great that he's so successful. I think the first Terrifier was really good. I see why so many people were talking about it. It had this grim and grungy atmosphere, and it really showed off what all Art the Clown could do. That crazy, insane personality. He was comedic, but he was also a psychopath. And we got quite the special effects show. It was something that people were sharing and talking about, and there were a few pretty infamous scenes from that movie. That being said, the first Terrifier was a little light on story and characters, but that's going to change with this one. This is a 2-hour and 18-minute slasher epic. That's crazy. Slashers don't usually go that long, and there is quite a lot of meat on the bones this time around. I mean, Art the Clown lives up to his reputation again. He's funny, and I think a lot of clown movies forget that. There's a scene in here I really like where he's in a Halloween store, and because he's in a Halloween store, people think he's just celebrating, and he can really get in people's faces and mess with them. There's a famous shot from this movie where he wears some Daisy sunglasses, and as much as people were sharing that, I was really surprised that he only wears them for the one shot. But it just works that well. But again, seeing him become such a deranged psychopath, it really becomes pretty disturbing, and there are several crazy and over-the-top scenes. It is by no means toned down this time around. It's even more, which is crazy. There's an infamous bedroom scene in here, and I've seen a ton of slasher movies, but even I was like, whoa, this is pretty crazy, this is pretty intense, and they really do push the envelope and try to go that extra mile with this franchise, and you really have to appreciate that. But one major improvement is this time around we get to know the characters a lot better. Our final girl has this whole thing with her father having recently passed away, but when they look at his sketchbook, they see drawings of Art the Clown, and you begin to wonder how he was connected. There's also this whole thing with a little girl in a similar costume to Art, and you're like, what's this little clown up to? And she's a really good, interesting addition as well, to see Art the Clown having something like a friend, and to see her have her own disturbing powers and abilities. She's a really fun addition, but getting all this stuff, I really like that Damien Leone knew that he was going to have a Terrifier 3, and in turn he sets a lot up here. He adds to the lore, and he adds to the surrealism too. He sets up a lot of the lore in here, but he doesn't ever push it too far where it bogs the story down or anything, and in turn I'm really intrigued as to where the Art the Clown story is going to go from here. What even is art anyway? That is a really good and interesting question, and I think about the time this review goes up, the new one should come out, and I really cannot wait to see Terrifier 3, especially after this one. All that being said though, I really did enjoy this movie. To go in and see not only just a new slasher movie, but one made with this much care and love and attention to detail, it was really good to go in and see a 2-hour slasher movie. And yeah, maybe at a few times, a few of the scenes might have been a little bit long. That 2-hour runtime was quite the thing. But again, just that effort, just that richness, it came out pretty well, and I can definitely recommend this movie. Seriously, if you haven't seen the Terrifier movies, go check them out. If you can stomach it, that is. All that being said, I do want to analyze this movie a little further. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers. I do want to say my piece on a few plot points and break down and analyze a few scenes, but I'll be avoiding the end bit, so I'll try not to do any major spoilers, and I'll try not to go too far, but I do want to dive in a little deeper. We open up right where the first one left off, and I really do like that continuity. Turns out Art's in the middle of killing the mortician, and since he lost an eye last time, let's borrow his. Next order of business, got to clean up that costume, and we get a really funny scene where he puts all his clothes in the washing machine, and then suddenly the little clown girl shows up, which is a huge intriguing moment, and you get to watch the two interact while this guy who had been sleeping wakes up and sees the scene. It is, again, kind of strange because he doesn't see the little girl in this scene, but later on, people definitely do see her. So what's going on with her? Is she real? Is she a ghost? I don't know, but it is interesting to see Art have this friend, and when you find out a little bit more about her backstory, I am really curious where they're going to go with this. Well, after that, we then jump a year. It's Halloween next year, and people know of Art the Clown. The massacre was a huge news story, and some people are a little nervous. We get to meet our main girl, Sienna, and she is preparing a Halloween costume based on a character created by her father, who was an artist, and she's put a bunch of time into making this costume. Well, it turns out her younger brother wants to be Art the Clown for Halloween. Not as heartwarming of a pick there, but it turns out he's fascinated by art, and he's fascinated by serial killers, and you kind of wonder with this kid, what all's going on with him? Why is he so obsessed with this? But then you see the father's sketchbook, and you know that the father had somehow drawn Art the Clown before his first appearance. How did the father know about this? How was he involved? What is going on here? And I think maybe that's what the kid wanted to know all along. Maybe through two different paths, they're trying to figure out who their father was. And there is some connection. We get a really interesting dream sequence, or is it really even a dream? I don't know, where the girl falls asleep, and then she's in a commercial shoot for a place called the Clown Cafe, an Art the Clown themed restaurant where, let's just say it's insanity, absolute insanity. And I do like it's a way to bring Art the Clown in, it's a way to do weird and wacky off-the-wall antics, but maybe there's a few clues in here as well, so it's not just wacky dream sequence. Well, she'll see Art the Clown in real life in a Halloween shop, in a scene that I absolutely love. The idea that Art the Clown is a character, anyone could just dress as him, so on Halloween he can run about and mess with people, not even necessarily killing them. I mean, he does lots of that, but he can just kind of mess with the final girl by, like, trying on these glasses and staring at her with all these different lenses. It is just such a fun thing for him to do, and then even when he's committing a crime, maybe he can get away with it a few times because it is Halloween, and it surely is just a weird Halloween joke, right? Well, after all this, Sienna's got her costume ready, and she's going to go out and party with her friends. And yeah, Art the Clown wants to kill some of those friends as well. Meanwhile, her brother goes on a bit of his own plot. There's this whole bit at the school where Art winds up framing this kid for some vandalism, and we get a fun cameo appearance from Felicia Rose of Sleepaway Camp fame. But he's in a bit of trouble this Halloween, but he knows that he can't just sit it out. He has to solve the mystery. And once the kills get going, Art the Clown is going to pay a few people some rather unfortunate visits. But when he gets to the final girl, again, I won't spoil stuff, but there is a very cool and unique location for the finale of this movie. And the climax is really big and epic. And when a character gets this text saying where the finale is going to be, it drops this one word and I was like, whoa, I didn't think we'd actually see that word in this movie. I'm trying to talk vague around it, but again, the final location and the bits and pieces about the lore, and then that epic finale. This movie has a lot going for it, and it really does continually build and add more and get to be such a big, crazy movie. Again, there's a lot to say here, and I hope I didn't ramble too much. Long story short, though, Terrifier 2 takes what the first one did, tried to build it up and make it even crazier, but also introduced story elements and explored that magical side that was barely in the first one, and I think it sets up a whole lot, and major props for waiting on a few elements for Terrifier 3, and I really can't wait to see that one. Overall, Terrifier 2 is great. It's not often you get a slasher epic, and here we are now. Yeah, definitely recommend this one. Anyway though, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Halloween playlist where you can see me talk about other Halloween movies like Terrifier 1 or All Hallows Eve. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.